Good.
Fantastic. All righty. Hello out there to all you guys, gals, and non-binary pals, all you shark lovers. Here we are for another Elasma week. Welcome. We're excited to have you. I'm sure we've all seen Shark Week and Shark Fest, and those shows are fun, but I feel like there's some really underrated sharks out there that we don't really talk about enough. So Annabel and I found some of the most obscure sharks that we could possibly think of, and we're going to talk about them today. So, hi everyone, I'm Jaida. I'm a student, PhD student at the MIT Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution Joint Program. I'm interested in elasmobranch movement ecology, habitat use, biophysical interactions, that sort of jazz. Annabel, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for the lovely little introduction there. I'm Annabel. I'm a master's student at the University of San Diego. I, like Jaida, am also interested in movement ecology of sharks and rays. So we are super excited to kick this talk off with the most obscure sharks that we could think of. So we have prepared for you some extant sharks, which basically means that they're still alive, living today. Surprisingly, some of these look like they should be dead. And then we have a few extinct sharks from prehistoric times of that we will talk about today. So we're super excited to share with you what we found. Woo!
Amazing. Let's do it.
Oh, and then Jaida, do you want to go over our little twist for today's presentation?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so after every single shark, there will be a pun. We will be making up these puns on the spot. So Annabelle's got their list of sharks, and I've got my list of sharks. And so after I present a shark, Annabelle will give me a pun. After Annabelle presents a shark, I will give a pun. Are they going to be good? Probably not, but they're going to be puns. So stay tuned. And if you can think of something better, feel free to tweet them at us later and tell us how terrible our pun game is. Please.
Oh, this is going to be awful.
I'm excited, but I'm not excited.
All right, let's kick it off with our first living shark. I have here the megamouth shark. As you can see here, this thing is a beast, humongous shark. It was discovered in 1976, and it's so rare that only 55 confirmed sightings have happened since. It has this really weird mouth, as you can see here. It has this like protruding jaw that kind of looks like a beak. And when it opens its mouth, it basically filter feeds plankton, much like whale sharks or basking sharks. And it pushes this jaw out to extend its mouth to suck the prey inside and then expel the water through its gills. One carcass of this megamouth shark was found to be about 23 to 25 feet long, which I can't even imagine anything that big, a living thing that big, but stuff like that exists, not here. I mean, here on this earth. It's not a very good swimmer. It kind of has this really flabby body, as you can see here, really soft fins and asymmetrical tail. So scientists think that they're not very good at swimming. And then it has really, really small teeth. It's got like about 50 rows of very tiny teeth per jaw, but only about 3 rows of those teeth are actually functional. So, I mean, I guess you don't really need teeth, like functional teeth, if you're eating plankton all the time. So yeah, that's the megamouth shark. Jaida, do you have a pun for us?
The only thing I can think of is you described the megamouth with your mega mind because you're so smart. That's all I got. I literally can't think of anything else.
I'll take it. I will take it. All right, we'll see if I can do better in this next one.
I really hope you can, because that was not good. I've set the bar low. Okay, now we have the pocket shark, which is one of the smallest species of sharks on the planet. So we went from the megamouth to something super itty bitty tiny. they look like tiny whales, but in reality, they are tiny sharks. They only get to be about 5.5 inches long. So when I say tiny, I mean really small. Like they could fit in the palm of your hand. Like they're so small. And I know that the megamouth is rare. Only, would you say 55 sightings? But we've only found 2 specimens of pocket sharks.
Oh.
The thing is, yeah, the wild thing is the second specimen that was found, they determined was actually a different species. So we've got, let me see if I can, Mollusquama perini and then Mollusquama mississippiensis, which was found in the Gulf of Mexico. And the fact that that was down there and we've only found one of them kind of just shows you like how much is in the ocean that we haven't really found yet. And that there's so many cool things to discover. There's so many awesome animals. But my favorite thing about this shark is like the fact that it's named the pocket shark, I think is so fitting. I put on the bullet points, I got a pocket full of bioluminescent goo, because that's exactly what they have. These pockets basically spit out like bioluminescent goo, most likely to kind of like distract a predator so that they can get away. I guess maybe a little bit like a squid. So just the idea of a shark that glows in the dark is crazy enough as is. One that just like spits out bioluminescent glowing goo from its armpits is like a whole other thing. And there's 2 species of them. That's so cool to me. But this is the pocket shark. I love them. Also, they are, of course, being bioluminescent. I'm sure you would assume that they live in the deep sea. They can be found in the Pacific Ocean at depths over 1,000 meters deep. So I love these guys. I'm obsessed with them. I think that they are so adorable. They really do look like tiny whales, but that's the pocket shark. That's what I got.
Oh
Annabelle,
my
let me hear what
God.
you got.
Okay, so I guess my pun is based on what I thought the pocket shark was named for. It's so small that it can fit in your pocket. But yeah, that is really cool. I didn't know that about pocket sharks, that they got this like pocket full of goo. Imagine like you just bump into someone and they're like, "Oh my God, all my slime just went over you." That's what I think
Yeah.
about.
You bump into them and they trip and they just like spill a pocket full of like Nickelodeon slime all over the sidewalk. And you're just like, I'm going to back away from this situation. I don't know what to do here. That's what I'm picturing with
Yeah,
these guys.
exactly.
If I were a predator, I'd be like, no, okay, live your life. I don't want to deal with this.
Like, okay, you're a little interesting. It's like that Vine. I don't know if our target audience was on Vine, but there's one where like he spills spaghetti out of his pocket.
Spaghetti! I was thinking about that. And he's just crying as he's trying to put it back in his pocket. Wow, that was King Batch. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh wow. What a
All right.
good Vine. I hope that someone out there in our audience got that and was thinking the same line that we were. I doubt it, but I really hope so.
Someone's out there. Someone's got to be out there. All right, on to the next shark. We have the kite fin shark. This is a deep sea dwelling shark. And the really cool thing about the kite fin shark is that just recently, actually a year ago in January 2020, we discovered that, or scientists discovered, not me personally, discovered that these are bioluminescent sharks. So they glow in the dark and on their bellies. And these kite fin sharks are actually the largest known bioluminescent vertebrate, spanning about 6 feet long. And we discovered this doing some sort of experiments on other creatures, and kite fin sharks happen to be in this dark tank, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's glowing. That's so cool." And the reason why that they're glowing on their belly, scientists theorize, is because of this concept called counter shading. So when you're looking up at a creature underwater, what you usually see is the light of like the sun coming down, depending on how deep you are in the ocean. So it's thought that this glowing part is supposed to blend in with the light that's coming down from the ocean when you look up, and then when you look down, there's no glowy part, so it's just completely dark, and then you can't see them. Unlike other organisms, these sharks use a slew of different chemicals to create their bioluminescence, including melatonin, which you may remember as the sleepy time chemical that we use to go to sleep. So that's what I learned about the kitefin shark. Super interesting. Jaida, what do you have for us?
This is so not thought out at all. But how am I supposed to fly a kite when it's living at the bottom of the ocean? That's that's all I got.
It's a good one.
It's like opposite. Like it's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
make
makes sense in my head, but it's fine. Yeah.
I think that it makes sense. Like your logic makes sense.
Thank you. Okay, good.
I'll give you a point for that one.
There's got to be, so I know my friend Noah Giberson is king of puns, and I swear if he watches this, he's going to be so disappointed in me, and it's fine because no one can make puns the way he does, but I hope that he watches this, and then I want him to give me all of the puns that he would have made if he were in this.
Definitely. I'm going to need that help too, because on to the next shark.
Amazing. Let's talk about the saw shark. Okay. I love the sawfish. I really do. Jasmine Graham, I'm sorry. I love you. I love the sawfish. Sawfish needs to stop stealing the spotlight. Sawfish is awesome. Saw shark is equally as awesome and deserves a little bit more attention. So there's a lot of confusion between like, what's a sawfish versus a saw shark? So let's talk about it. As you can see this picture here in the middle, saw shark rostrums versus sawfish rostrums, drastically different size. And that's because the sharks are drastically different in size. So the saw sharks only get to be about 4.5 to 5 feet long, whereas sawfish can get to be 15 to 20 feet long. The saw shark has barbels, or I guess a common way that people talk about them is whiskers on its rostrum, whereas the sawfish does not. And there's a clear separation between the head and the pectoral fins of the saw shark. And that's not as clear as of a separation with the sawfish because the sawfish is actually a ray, not a shark.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, it's a ray.
It's not a saw or a fish. I mean, it's a fish, but
it's a saw ray. That's not as fun to say. But yeah, so there's a little bit of a difference. One of the biggest ones, of course, being size. But I love the sawfish. Oh, yeah, I do love the sawfish. But what I meant to say is I love the saw shark. And the saw shark deserves a little bit more attention. I think these guys are really cool. They're found in parts of the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans. And they can even be found in Florida, which so can the sawfish. So I can see why things get confusing. But they're pretty different. The saw sharks are a lot smaller. They're very cute. Similar animals, but definitely different. So that's what I got for you on the saw shark. Pristiophorus serratus. There you go. Let's hope I said that right. Awesome. Annabelle, what puns do you got for me?
I have a question first. What
Sure.
does the saw shark use its little snout for?
I believe for similar ways that the sawfish does, where like stunning, killing prey, immobilizing prey items, and it uses its barbels obviously to like sense the prey, and then from my understanding, it uses its saw to kind of like thrash back and forth and help immobilize it and makes it easier to eat it once it's dead and not moving. So
Okay, cool. I got 2 puns for this actually. The first is, I didn't saw a fish, I saw a shark in the water.
Oh, that's a good one.
My second one is playing on the Latin name. The saw shark's saw is serratus, like serrated. That one didn't land as good.
I like it because I think that's just exactly what they went for when naming it in the first place. You're like, let's switch it back around though. No, I love it. I love
Thank you so much.
This one was really good. That was great.
All right. We got another cute shark lined up for you. It's the pajama cat shark, which I think is so adorable. They got these cute little vertical stripes. That's how they got their name. They live usually in rocky reefs and kelp beds in South Africa. They're just so stinking adorable. They're about 3 feet long, and they are nocturnal. So they are awake at night, and they usually take this time to hunt. And the really cool thing about them is that they will just kind of bite onto their prey, latch onto their prey, and kind of like spin them like an alligator death roll and stun their prey, and then eat them. And they mainly do this with like crabs and other crustaceans. So I think it's just so adorable to think about like this shark latching onto a crab and like spinning it and then eating it in the most like violent, cute way.
Because they're not that big, so I just imagine it being just so adorable. I'm like,
Yeah,
sharky, so cute. Like they're just
like, oh, you're eating your prey, so adorable.
good for you, little guy.
And that's all I got for you.
I absolutely love it. These guys are so cute. My pun. Ooh, you think they bring these pajamas to the catwalk?
Ah,
Is
that
that a
was
good
a good
one?
one.
Okay, great. Also, do you say pajama or pajama?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what I just said. I think I said pajama.
I think you said pajama, but I say pajama. And I've had people tell me, they're like, you say it wrong. But it's like,
Oh,
I say pajama because like if it's like you go get your jammies on, you don't go get your jammies on. I don't know, it doesn't matter. I've always wondered, and I feel like I'm always the one that says it wrong, but I'm sticking to my guns on this one. It's definitely pajama.
okay. We can run a Twitter poll for that one.
Oh my gosh, we should.
Let us know. Let us know, everyone. All right. Up next. Oh
Up next,
gosh.
we have this creepy looking pal, the bird-beaked dogfish. I love that there are so many sharks that are named after other animals, like, the tiger shark, the sand tiger shark, cat sharks, the bird-beaked dogfish. I just think that this is like the perfect example of that because you get a 2-for-1 with this one. You got dog and birds. Amazing.
Wow.
Truly underappreciated shark because not a lot of people know about them. I think that they need a little bit more appreciation, more recognition, which is why, again, we're talking about them, obscure animals. We gotta give them the credit they deserve. These guys are really cool. They live in like the Pacific Ocean around Australia and Asia, as well as the Atlantic Ocean in parts of Africa. They can live down to about 1,500 meters deep, which is why they look the way they look. So they have these gigantic eyes, which you may find creepy. I kind of find them adorable. And that's so that it kind of helps to bring in as much light as possible in the deep sea because there's not much light down there. You got to collect as much as you can. And their skin is black for the same reason. If there's not a lot of light and everything's black anyway, you may as well be black too to hide from prey and sneak up on them or evade predators. Either way. And these guys are also not super big, only about 3 feet long. So they're pretty small, but I love them. They have like this weird flat nose that you can kind of see in this picture. And it straight up looks like a bird beak. So bird beak dogfish, I think it's a pretty fitting name for a very obscure and wonderful shark. So that's what I have for you on this shark. What kind of puns you got for me?
The ocean is so terrifying, first of all. If you're swimming in the ocean with that thing,
No, but I love him. Look at him. He's not
okay.
gonna do
I
anything.
think when we go to my next shark, I think that will be my reason I will not be entering the ocean for the rest of my life. But I
That's
do have
fair.
the
I
perfect
think,
pun
yeah.
for this.
Yes.
With those big eyes, it should be called the hawkeye dogfish because it needs hawk's eye vision to see in the down. Okay, I'm just gonna stop there.
No, that was great. I love that you said the pun and then proceeded to explain it is like the best part of that. That was really funny. No, that was a good one.
Thank you. Thank
That was
you.
among the better ones that we've had so far. So
Can only go up from here.
honestly.
All right. Here's the reason why I will not be entering the ocean for the rest of my life. We have yet another dogfish, another animal named dogfish. We have the viper dogfish, which first of all looks like it came out of some horror movie. This does not look like a fish at all. It's a rare shark. In parentheses, I put good because I don't want to be encountering this when I'm just like swimming around. I think they are uh, deep sea dwelling, so that is good as well. They are bioluminescent, so they're a little glowy. So if you're swimming around and wherever these guys are, you'll be able to see them, I guess. They've got this really oh god, no spoiler alerts. Oh my god. Okay, we're back. So sorry. Oh no, we're not back. Okay, now we're back.
That was so good. I don't know why that was so funny. Oh, that's so brand for us, honestly.
Oh my god. Anyway, as I was saying, their very scary jaws are much like the goblin shark, if you know much about the goblin shark, where you start off with like a regular mouth, and then when you have prey, you just stick your jaw out and you eat them whole. And you eat your prey whole. That's what the viper dogfish jaw is for. Eating your prey whole. So scary. They're found in the Pacific Ocean, which is cute because I live there. And I don't want to be seeing these guys because they can grow up to 5 feet long. Excuse me? You're telling me the bird beak grows to 3 feet long, but this grows to 5 feet long? I hate that. Anyway.
That's only 6 inches shorter than me. That's
Yeah, you're telling me I can be swimming next to one of these and it's gonna be almost as long as me? I don't want it. No thanks.
I would love to admire them from a distance, as you should do with all wildlife.
Anyway.
Amazing.
Please end my misery. I don't want to be looking at this anymore. As you can tell, I really like the shark.
The pun I have for this, I don't think that anyone else is, I think half our audience is not going to laugh at this or even understand it, but I got Viper. I hardly know her. It's so dumb. It's so not funny. I'm sorry. That's all I got.
Alrighty. I'll take it. I'll take it. If at least one person gets it, that's fine.
I want at least one person to laugh at that. Like, the whole point is that it doesn't make sense. It's fine. We don't need to be explaining puns. Let's go.
Gen Z, if you're out there, laugh.
Please. I need my generation to laugh with me. Okay. Now we've got another shark with an incredible name, the cookie cutter shark. I'm obsessed with these. They're so funny to me. So there are indeed 2 species. There's the large tooth and the small tooth. The small tooth, I believe, is Isistius brasilensis, and then the large tooth, I think, is Isistius plutotus. I would need to double check that, but I believe that is correct. These guys are awesome. They live in like the Western Atlantic, the Indo-Pacific, and they also live in the Pacific near the Galapagos Islands. Another reason the Galapagos Islands are gnarly in the best way. They have a truly iconic bite mark, and there's obviously a picture of one right here. What they do is they attach to their prey items with their big old fleshy lips, and their bottom jaw basically just takes like a little melon ball cookie cut scoop and makes like a perfect circle basically out of their prey items. And then they got a meal, and then the larger prey item like whales, dolphins, seals, other sharks are probably very unhappy about it, but at least they're still alive. They kind of just go along with their life and hope that it doesn't get infected, I guess. Iconic bite, don't swim at night, LOL, we love a rhyme. These guys have indeed bitten chunks out of people, and it's typically because they live in the deep sea, and deep sea organisms do come up at night. So don't swim at night. If you want to swim at night, go for it, but just know that there are risks involved with it. And one of those risks is if you're swimming in the right, or I guess maybe wrong place, ending up with a cool cookie cutter shark bite scar. But the good thing is these guys only get to be about 1.5 feet long. So they're not 5 foot long viper dogfish. They're pretty small, pretty tame, pretty mild. They they got a cool bite. I really don't know what else to say about them besides the fact that their bite is so iconic and fantastic. And it's so cool because you can see the scars from other animals, like I said, whales, dolphins, other sharks, seals, and sea lions. You can see when they've been bitten by one of these because they've got like this perfect circle cut out somewhere on their body. And I just think that that's a really cool like signature thing. Like, Fred was here, but Fred is a cookie cutter shark, and it's this perfect little circle. I just think it's super cool. These guys are awesome. Yeah. And their skulls look hilarious, which is great.
I think last time we had talked about like what would happen if either of us had gotten a cookie cutter bite. Didn't you say that you would like get a cookie cutter tattooed next to the bite?
Yeah, to make it look like it's about to bite me. I absolutely would, and I stand by that. And I don't hope that I get bitten by a cookie cutter shark, but I mean, that's a really cool tattoo opportunity. So like pros and cons, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta weigh out your options.
Cons, you just lost a chunk of your leg. But pros, tattoos? I don't know. I mean,
sure hope it's my leg and not like my face or something.
oh my gosh, that's like your entire cheek. I don't want that. No. Anyway, hope I don't get bitten by a cookie cutter shark, and I hope that none of you do either.
Yes. Okay. I have a pun. It's good, but I don't know how to deliver it properly, so we'll see if it lands. This is not your typical cookie cutter species. The cookie cutter shark is truly out of the box.
Oh no, I love that because it's not like your cookie cutter type of shark.
Yeah.
No, I got it. That was a good one. Wow. Oh, that was so good. I'm here for that. That was amazing.
Getting better at this. Getting better at it.
We're improving as we go on.
We are. All right. Up next, we got a shark that looks like it should be dead, but it's not. This is the frilled shark. On the one hand, the frilled shark looks super cute. Like, look at these eyes. Look at this little smile. I'm obsessed. But on the other hand, looking from the front view, I am not obsessed. This looks like it came out of a low budget sea monster movie, to be honest. Additionally, you have all of these teeth. You can see that they're a little bit weird shaped. There's 25 rows of them, super cute, and they all curve inwards towards the mouth. So basically, if you were a fish and this guy tried to eat you, like chomp chomp, the only way you could swim out of its mouth is to swim into its mouth and then try to swim back out of its mouth because they're hooked inward. So you have to like swim in to get yourself unhooked, basically. These sharks are also really weird because the first pair of its gills wrap all the way around its neck. So you can see it's like a little necklace. It's got like a collar, you know, like a whoop. Unlike other sharks where, you know, they're just on the side. So really interesting. It's neutrally buoyant, which means that it doesn't sink. It doesn't like float naturally. It doesn't like rise naturally. It's got this huge fatty liver that makes it just float in the water, like it's just hovering there, basically. So that's really cool. It also looks like a giant snake, and it actually might hunt like one too. Scientists think that even though we don't know it's like what it acts like in its natural habitat, because we haven't really seen much of it in its natural habitat. The first time we actually did was in 2004. We've never seen it actually hunt. But scientists think that these huge like rear fins are used to like strike, like pounce on its prey in the water. So that's pretty interesting. It's a cool but very scary looking shark.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that they like potentially like pounce like that. That's
yeah,
kind of cool.
Very interesting.
I have to say their teeth look like nudibranchs, like a certain type of sea slug, right?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, to me, that's really funny. And then something that I think just adds to the goofiness of their look is the fact that they don't have a first dorsal fin.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, sharks typically have two dorsal fins. Let's just use this as an example, first and second. But the frilled shark doesn't have a first one, so it just makes it look kind of goofy that it's just missing its first large dorsal fin. And so I think that they look very goofy and cute, and I think that they're precious. Obviously would, again, love to admire from afar, like afar, but I think that they're super cool. So I was absolutely thrilled to learn about this shark today.
You just dropped it in there. I wasn't ready.
I had to. I had to. Oh, that was fun.
Oh my God. Wow, I was not prepared for that.
Got to catch him off guard.
All right, on to the next one.
All right. Okay. I love this shark so much. I'm going to steal this pun so that you don't have the opportunity to, because it's too easy. I think they're so swell. So this is the swell shark. Cephalocilium ventriosum, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's very, very possible that I did that wrong. But anyway, these guys are found in the Eastern Pacific, from Central California all the way down to like central Chile, which is a pretty cool range. I'd love to live along that range as well. Seems super nice. This is another shark that I think obviously is not talked about enough for so many reasons. First of all, they're super cute. Look at that snoot. Gotta rhyme again, but so cute. Look at that little nose. Absolutely adorable. They get to be almost 4 feet long, and they are not bioluminescent, but biofluorescent, which is a bit of a different process. Biofluorescence typically glows green, whereas bioluminescence is typically blue. And we can see bioluminescence with our own eyes, but we cannot see biofluorescence with our own eyes. We need technology. However, the sharks themselves can see it. So biofluorescence will help them to kind of pick out individuals of the same species. And if it's not glowing, they're like, that's not my species. I'm not going to try to interact with that organism. I'm not going to try and mate with them. So the biofluorescence really helps them to stand out to each other. And also it's gorgeous when you see it with the right technology. Obviously, I mean, it's a shark that glows green. Like, that's awesome. And the other thing, the thing that they're named for is the fact that they blow up like a sharky balloon. They, as you can see in this top picture there, they can fill themselves with seawater, blow up like a balloon, and that's for a specific reason. So blowing up like this will make it more difficult for a predator to wrap its mouth around the shark. And it'll also make it more difficult to, if they squeeze themselves in a crevice and then blow up, it'll make it more difficult for the predator to pull them out of that crevice. So it's basically just a really goofy looking defense mechanism. And honestly, I'm here for it. They're really, really cool sharks. And I would love to see one in person one day and just kind of watch them from afar and let them exist in their space and just kind of see how they live, because they're just really cool, really cute. And I think that they deserve a lot more appreciation. So here we have this whale shark.
Very nice. I'm upset that you took the easiest pun.
I had to. It was too easy. I mean, yeah, it's just too simple.
Making me think. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So you said that biofluorescence is used for usually like mating purposes.
Yeah, like helping identify for sure.
A biofluorescent shark would really blow up on a dating app. Because they're just so swell.
You had to add the last one in there too. No, that was really good. That was good. Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh my God. Wow. So we really made it through all 10 of our living shark species. We did our puns, and now we're going to move on to our obscure extinct shark species that aren't the megalodon. Woo!
Yeah. The megalodon is not obscure. Is it cool? Yes. Do I wish it still existed? Yes. Is it obscure?
Extinct? No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding.
The megalodon is very extinct. I get so many questions about that. They're definitely super dead. It's fine. So we're going to talk about other extinct sharks.
Super dead.
Annabelle, I'm gonna punch you through the computer screen. I'm just kidding.
Anyway,
We don't condone violence here. No, we're excited to talk about some sharks that are extinct that maybe we don't know about, because honestly, Annabelle and I didn't know about half of these when we started
nope,
researching them. So
not at all.
I'm excited. Are we still going to keep going with these puns? I think it's going to be difficult, but I think we can
Oh
do it.
yeah.
Heck
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. First, we got the Stethoscanthus, aka the anvil shark. This shark was found in the late Devonian to early Carboniferous period, which was about 300 million years ago, very long time ago. As you can see, it has this funny little, like, I don't even know what to call it, fin, bicycle seat, ironing board,
Ironing board.
anvil. A lot of people called it ironing board on the internet. I was like, okay, just okay. Or as I put in the slide, funky looking hat. Only the males had it, so it's thought that it was maybe like a display for mating. That this rough patch on their ironing board also is on their head for whatever reason. Scientists theorize, hypothesize that this was for maybe mimicking like a huge mouth. So like since they're pretty small, they're about, I don't know, this is like a foot long maybe. Since they were pretty small, maybe it was like if a predator was approaching them, the rough parts would look like a mouth opening, and then the predators would get scared, or the anvil part was just to like intimidate predators in general. Obviously it's dead, so we can't really do any studies on that. So yeah, surprisingly small. I thought that these were going to be like huge, but as you can see from this picture, they are less than a meter long, about maybe 2 feet tops. And here's a little fossil. Yeah, that's all I got for you.
Teeny tiny. I love them. Hey, Stethoscanthus shark get any bigger? Oh, that was bad. It was a real stretch to try and put the whole name in that one.
I thought you were really going to go off the ironing board. That was really clever.
Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't think of anything else. That was all I got.
That was real good.
Thank you.
Got me there. Alrighty, on to the next one.
Amazing. Okay, so this is Edestis, aka the scissor tooth shark. This one was pretty large. Let me just say why, how, what is happening. I don't understand. What in evolution's name? Why? I truly, like, every time I try to think about like how this evolved and how this would be advantageous, I can't think of anything. But you know what? The universe found a way. They were like, you know what we want? I really like scissors and I really like sharks. We're going to put them together. Edestis. Like I said, they were pretty big. Could have been 6 to 7 meters long, which is huge. They lived in like the late Carboniferous era. So somewhere around like 306 to 299 million years ago. And scientists think that they may have thrashed around to kill its prey, like a sawfish potentially, but maybe a different head movement, maybe more like this rather than this. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think that science is 100% sure because they're extinct. Again, we can't really do tests on any of these animals to see, or any kind of observation, even in the wild, to see what is going on with these organisms and how they interacted with their environment. But all we have is fossils. And most of the time for sharks, all we have is tooth records because their skeleton is made out of cartilage. So that doesn't fossilize well, but their teeth are very hard. So those fossilize well. So a lot of the time we just have their teeth to go off of. So size estimates are just that, estimates, based on the size of their teeth. And the way that these fossils, I guess, were laid out and the way their teeth were set up, we kind of just assume that maybe thrashing was one of the ways that they could get prey items. But I don't think we will ever be 100% sure. I hope one day we can find some more evidence because these are some really cool sharks and I'd love to learn more about them.
Yeah, super weird looking shark. That jaw is just like, like,
It
huh?
looks like a
How
duck
does it
bill
work?
with teeth. Yeah, it's so odd.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I guess with evolution and everything, the Adestus did not make the cut. The
Oh,
scissors.
that was a good one. Wow. I would thought of one, but it was not that good.
What was yours?
Mine was, oh, thrashing around. He does this all the time. Like,
Oh, that
he,
one's good.
oh,
Oops.
wow. That was a good one. Didn't
Thank
make the
you.
cut. That was good.
Thank you. Thought about that one really hard. All right. Up next, we got a prehistoric sawfish looking thing, the Badringa. This species or this shark was found in the Carboniferous period, so around that 300 million year ago mark. They think that the snout was used to dig prey out of soft sediment, much like other long-snouted sharks. So this one is actually really interesting because at first, scientists had found this very large Badringa in saltwater. And that's the size comparison that you see here. It's about 3 meters long. And then, like in the early 2000s or something, they found a smaller Badringa in they found the big one in freshwater, they found the little one in saltwater. And that's what you see in this fossil here, I believe. And so at first they were like, oh, these are two different species because they're found in two different habitats and they're two different sizes. But something interesting that they later started to think about and they later started to realize was that, hey, wait a second, the Badringa, the big one in the freshwater, we can't find any babies or eggs of juveniles in the freshwater. We can't find any of them. There's no smaller ones, they're all big. The ones in the saltwater, we can't find any adults. There's no big ones. What's going on? What's happening? And so in 2014, they realized, after connecting all the dots, that these were the same species where the juveniles started off in freshwater or in saltwater and then moved into freshwater as adults. And then the adults would come back to the freshwater and basically mate and deposit their babies there. So this is the earliest known record of migrations to what is a nursery ground, which is basically where sharks go to mate or to give birth. And this is pretty common in a lot of sharks, and is pretty routine in their migration patterns that we see today, which is super interesting. And this is one of the only recorded examples of a fresh to saltwater migration in sharks, because usually it's saltwater to freshwater, but this is freshwater to saltwater. Super interesting. Love that story.
All right. That's so cool. All I can think of when I hear this is like they're anadromous. Oh, like very bothersome? No, 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 no. That's annoying. They're anadromous. Oh, so they can write with their left or their right hand? No, 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 no. That's ambidextrous. They're anadromous. That's like all I can think of. That's my pun for this one because that's really all I got. But like that's really cool. They can like kind of go not necessarily like back and forth, but like have this like fresh to saltwater migration. It's also reminding me of like salmon.
Yeah, much like salmon. And then can you explain anadromous for folks who may not know what that is?
Yes. So anadromous is basically when a fish can live in either fresh or salt water, and that there's some sort of I think that it also has some sort of like life cycle piece involved in it. You know what we can do? Google it absolutely right now. I can't spell. There we go. Of a fish such as the salmon migrating up rivers from the sea to spawn. Right. So yeah, there you go. It's got, sort of freshwater, saltwater, different life cycle stages. So anadromous, ambidextrous. Also, I
Learned a
just
new word
realized
today.
that we spelled it wrong on the screen. It's band.
Andringa. Ah! I'm a
I didn't realize
fool.
that until I read it here and I was like, yeah, for sure. And then I looked over to the size picture and I was like, oh, we didn't spell that right, did we?
I guess we did a bad Dringa job.
Oh God, no! That was great. That was wonderful.
Just pretend that there's an N here, everyone.
For sure, for
Bandringa.
sure.
My bad.
Bandringa.
Yeah. All right. On to the next one.
All right. This one, Tychodus. I always want to say Tychodes. Tychodus. They were huge, clearly. Look at this size comparison. Over like 10 meters long. That is ridiculous. That's like hard to wrap my head around. But that's really, really cool. So, and then we have this like artist rendition of them. You can kind of see what their mouth looks like a little bit, or what we think that their mouth looks like, kind of like small and crushing. It's reminding me of like a nurse shark almost. So they probably ate things with shells, because they've got these, and you can see this picture here, these big old crushing teeth plates. So it's most likely that they ate shelled organisms like crabs and things like that, maybe other mollusks, invertebrates. So I'm just kind of thinking like, in my head, I'm seeing like nurse shark, but on like a much larger scale, because they're huge. I would have honestly loved to see these guys. They look so cool. Also, the size rendition one looks like they have some sort of spine on their dorsal fins. I don't know how accurate that is, but I think that would also be really cool. And yeah, they lived in the late Cretaceous, so between 125 to 72 million years ago. If you're wondering, also in the late Cretaceous, the T-Rex and the Velociraptor lived then as well. So just a little bit of like a comparison between some other really well-known organisms that people tend to love, which I also love. I'm totally not just throwing in dinosaurs to appease my nephew. He's 3 and he's obsessed with them, but I'm trying to get him to move over to sharks a little bit more. So maybe this will be a little bit of like a segue into sharks.
Slow transition. Slow transition.
Exactly.
You know, with all this fangirling we got over the Tychodus, I think we got a huge crush on him.
Aha! That was good. That was good.
Oh God. These are just getting real bad.
They were terrible at the beginning, started to get better, and I think they're getting worse again.
I think so. I really think so.
We can only do so much. We're not pun masters.
Someone please help us.
We need to take an improv class.
We do. All right. Up next, we have Xenacanthus. So Xenacanthus lived from the Devonian period to the end of the Triassic period, which was about 360 to 208 million years ago. Still around that same era that we were talking about, little bit closer to our present day, but not by much. They have these interestingly placed fins that look like, you know, could be some evolutionary step to legs, much like the Australian lungfish. They have these really interesting fanned fins, we think, which are super cute in this artist rendition here. They lived in swamps and rivers, but you know, doesn't really look like a shark, but people say that it's a shark. So you know what? That's all I got. We don't really know much about this shark, but it's pretty interesting looking. Yeah.
I love them. I love that they look like a lungfish. Hold on, wait, ready? Xena, can this really be a shark? Oh, I apologize. It was so bad. I mean, that was less of a stretch of fitting in the whole name than Stephacanthus, but I did take the exact same route to get where I wanted to go. So
No, that's fine. With all of these like anthus or like is this like it's pretty easy to grab those ones.
Oh yeah. I mean, where else am I supposed to go with this name? No, this is a really cool organism. Swamps and rivers, that's really interesting. I love the rendition with the little like spine coming off of their head.
It's like a little antenna.
Yeah, I'm so curious as to what the purpose is for that one. But
Yeah, I've been seeing
wow.
a lot of those on like the other artist renditions too. So I'm wondering, like, first of all, how did they like know that it was there? And second of all, like, why is it there?
Yeah, maybe that was a hard spine that was fossilized. I'd love to see if there is a fossil with like a very clear spine on its head. I'd be really
Yeah, that'd
interested.
be
And
really dope.
also then like my just me thinking through um body plans, I guess. This is all just my speculation. I wonder if like the dorsal fin would have been attached to that spine. If the dorsal fin would have like moved really far forward and like attached to that as well. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking of
Yeah,
like a spiny dogfish has like its dorsal fin has like a spine coming like directly off of it. And so
right.
it would be like a similar thing, or if there would have been like space between it. I don't know if we have evidence for that. I'd love to see a fossil again, like I said, but that's just the way that my brain was thinking about this. Like, I wonder.
Wow. Real scientist at work right here. Paleobiology.
Oh my gosh, I think that that would be the most amazing, like, such an interesting thing to study is like paleo oceanography, paleobiology, but like I don't study that. But it would be cool.
If
Again,
you're
I don't know
studying
where it's
that,
going
good
though.
for you.
Yeah,
All right.
awesome.
Last but not least.
I love this so much. Okay, this is my favorite extinct shark and potentially my favorite extinct organism ever. These guys were also huge. But let's talk about that in a second. Hold on. They're called the buzzsaw shark for obvious reasons. I need to again ask evolution why? What what is going on? It makes no sense. I mean apparently it did because they were around for several million years. They existed on the planet, but I just look at it and I'm like this doesn't make any sense at all. None. Um but they're really cool. I'm obsessed with them. That's why I love them so much, is because they don't make any sense. And there's just so many questions. Um, but so the latest theory about why their jaw looks the way it looks is this picture on the top left. Basically, shark teeth, I'm sure you all know, are on like basically a conveyor belt, and they're constantly making new teeth, and then those teeth move forward and then fall out. The current theory for these guys is that the teeth moved forward, but they didn't fall out, and they just kind of embedded back into the jaw, which sounds unbelievably painful. Like wisdom teeth times 12, or
Yeah.
or times a few thousand, because I'm sure that they've got thousands of teeth just kind of embedding back into their jaw throughout their lifetime. Um, but at least they're big enough to, I guess, handle that much going on in their jaw, because they did get to be an estimated between 20 to 25 feet long. Um, Wild, absolutely wild. These guys lived in the late Carboniferous to early Triassic, so about 280 million years ago, and they actually survived the Permian Triassic extinction. Um, and if you didn't know that sharks have survived, sharks in general, the lineage has survived 4 out of 5 mass extinctions. Now you know that. And this one did survive one of those pretty big extinctions. Unfortunately, couldn't make I guess your joke, the cut, and went extinct in the early Triassic. But these guys are awesome. And then, as you can see in this paleo art picture, they did eat likely some sort of cephalopods like squid and things like that. But yeah, this is probably my favorite extinct organism, or at least in the top 3. They are just so wild to look at, and I genuinely wish that these still existed. I have nothing more to say than that. Like they're so cool. It's really hard to make me lose words because I have so many of them flowing out of my mouth constantly. This shark can do it. This shark makes me lose words. I like don't even know what to say. They are absolutely incredible, and I'm obsessed with them in a very maybe potentially unhealthy way. I love them.
It wasn't until recently, actually, that I figured out that these were real life sharks. I
Yeah,
literally thought that they were just like made up.
like
They look so
unicorns.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like unicorns. Yeah, evolution
Arguably cool.
really spiraled out of control on this one.
Yes, yes, that was my favorite pun of the day. That was a really good one.
That
Oh,
one
heck
just
yeah.
came so naturally. I just, it was meant to be.
That was so good. Oh, amazing.
And it's a great way to close out our presentation because that was our last shark. We saved the best for last.
Sad face. Yeah,
That was
I had to move the PowerPoint around a little bit because this one had to be last. It had to.
That's fair. That's fair. I will accept it. Not that I
Amazing.
even realized, but
Awesome.
all right. So
Cool.
I hope everyone enjoyed our talk this Elasmo week. Thanks to all the planners and people working behind the scenes to get this organized. Jaida, do you want to say any final thoughts?
Yeah. Again, just like you said, thank you guys all for listening and watching. I really hope that you guys learned something new about at least one of these sharks. Maybe you even learned about a whole new species of shark that you weren't aware of before. And that's also really cool because it's always cool to find out about an organism you didn't know about. You can feel free to follow us on social media. Again, if you want to share some of the puns that you guys had while watching this, feel free to tweet them at us or leave comments on our Instagram posts. Honestly, whatever works. I think that would be so funny and we would love to see them. And yeah, thank you to all the people behind the scenes of Elasmo Week for helping to put all this together and doing all of this planning. And again, thank you all for watching. We had so much fun putting this together and we hope you guys had a great time watching too. So yeah,
Yes.
thanks everyone.
And as the scientists we are, here are our sources for our pictures and such. So
yes,
if you want to check out any of the pictures, feel free to type out one of these links letter by letter, or you can ask us for the slide, I guess. And with that, we'll see you on the rest of the Elasmo week. Have a great time attending the events.
bye everyone.
And we'll end the recording.